Where's the industry at? What's going on? Who's hitting? Who's not? What's Taylor Swift doing? Why is she re-recording her masters? Why is this stuff happening? Who's doing this stuff and why are they doing it? You know? And then what are the independent artists? What's TikTok going? What's it doing? How's that working with UMG and all that stuff? Why did UMG and TikTok, kind of go part ways? Why is UMG now working with Spotify? What's going on there? How's that going to build? Is that going to build into a social platform like TikTok? Are they going to try to compete? Is Spotify going to become the new TikTok? Welcome to the Radium Records channel. I'm Bradley Denniston, and today in this video, I'm going to be talking about building a strong music production career. Now, this video, I'm going to try and really give you guys game, even if you're an artist, a musician, a hobbyist, anything like that, and you're trying to build a career in music. A career meaning 10, 20, 30 years of making music for a living. So if you're not interested in that and you're like, I'm more of a hobbyist, I don't care if I make a dime from music, this video is not really for you. So just, click away. But if you're still here and you want to learn stuff about building a music career and a strong music career starting right now in 2024, then this video is going to help you out quite a bit. Now, before I get started, you guys probably want to know what my accolades are. Who am I to even talk about this, right? I've been in music for 25 plus years. I'm 40 years old, right? So maybe I look young because that skin glow, right? I just got a haircut too, so dialed in. But I've been doing this for a very long time. About 15 years, I've been making my living 100% off of music. Whether that's producing, mixing, mastering, writing songs, sync licensing songs, composing. Some of my credits include the Lego Movie, 22 Jump Street, Thor Ragnarok. I've done easily $3.5 million in sync licensing for commercials like Listerine, Dodge, all sorts of commercials. I don't even want to get into all that stuff, right? And you guys can click the link in the description to see some more of my credits on IMDb and stuff. But a big part of my career has been in music for TV, film, commercials, sync licensing, composing, right? Songwriting, mixing, mastering. So I wanted to give you guys some insight on how did I get to 15 years of doing this, and my business is growing year after year, right? So if you're interested in that, stick around because I'm going to give you some game. Now, the first thing I would say, if you want to become really great as a music producer, you have to master your craft. That is number one, 2, and 3. And the best way that I've found to master your craft in music production, songwriting, mixing, mastering is getting around people that are doing those things on a level that you want to be hitting. That is the cheat code, all right? There's no other cheat code. Get in the studio with people that are better than you. Become the small, tiny fish, the tiny fry in the big room, you know what I'm saying? Filled with some of the greatest in the world, or the best that you can get to, right? And the way you can do that is, obviously, you can pay to do that. Pay to play. Go pay for studio time with a great producer, vocal coach, whatever it might be. Pay. I promise you, you want to skip the years. Just pay, right? Sitting in your room by yourself producing music, you may feel like you're really practicing and, you're putting in work and all this stuff. But I find that if I could go back 25 years, I wasted easily a decade of just trying to figure everything out on my own. Now, granted, back when I first started, there was no YouTube. You guys get this right now. You get to be in the studio with me talking about my career and plenty of other creators. There's Mix with the Masters. There's all sorts of people that are at higher levels than me, way higher levels than me, teaching you guys game on how to mix, how to master, music business strategies, all that stuff. I didn't have that when I first started, but if I could do that over, I would get in the rooms. I would pay those people to get in the rooms, make records with people that are better than you, right? Always reach up. Don't ever reach sideways or down. Always reach up. So that's my first piece of advice for you guys to really build a career in music. And that may look like, and of course, you guys drop any questions you have in the comments here, and I'll try to answer those questions for you. I don't gatekeep shit. So this channel is all about just sharing my experience and my knowledge and skills with you guys. So, if you got a question, drop it in the comments. I'll try to get to that as soon as possible. But I would say that looks like, to me, if I was just starting in 2024, I would find the people that I am learning a lot from on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and I start DMing them and adding value to them, right? So whether that be like, hey, let me, I played guitar on this thing. Here's some guitar loops. Here's some song ideas. Here's some melodies. Can I come to your studio and clean up your stuff? Like, I'll do it for free. Right? Maybe you do some editing, video editing, you make content, take their stuff, repurpose it, send it to them, make it good too. So whatever you're good at right now, your skill set, if it's not like music production at that level where you can reach up to those people that are way better than you at music production, maybe it's that you play really good guitar. Maybe you play bass really well. Maybe you're a really great drummer and you got a good setup at home and you record pretty well. So send some guitar loops, send some drum loops, offer to play drums on one of their songs for free, etc. Try to get in the studio with them. Try to get on calls with them. Ask them, do you offer mentoring? Could I pay you for your time? $100, $200, you know? I want to get on the phone with you. I want to get on a Zoom call with you. I want to learn from you. Honestly, it's just going to take that time that you would have spent trying to figure everything out on your own, and it's going to cut it in half, because these people are going to have insights that you're not going to find on YouTube, okay? So hopefully you're getting something from this video that's going to help you. But I'm telling you, getting around people, that's the biggest thing, because you take all their tools and their skill sets and you put them in your toolbox. And that's just going to help you kind of, shortcut the game a little bit more. So that's the first thing. I would say master your craft and get around the people that have that craft dialed in that you want, and try your best to get around those people. Best piece of advice I could possibly give you. If you stop the video right now, you're going to walk away with that and just start building with people that are better than you. Get around the people that can help you. Now, the second thing that I think a lot of people getting into music production right now in 2024 are not doing is they're not studying what's already been done. What I mean by that is you have to go back on catalogs of music and learn genres and styles and the gear they were using, the guitars, the amps, the consoles, and understanding the plugins and the things that model those things. Understanding the music industry as a whole. What did that look like when CDs were being sold, right? And then what does it look like now with streaming? And what are the numbers doing right now? I bet you didn't even know that vinyl sales are up by 8 to 10% over streaming revenue right now in 2024. Vinyl records. So if you didn't know that stuff, you have to stay on that knowledge game. You got to be looking for this stuff and understanding how the music industry is moving, right? So spend the time. Look into it and look into music rights and royalties and contracts and how all that works. What is publishing? A lot of people are like, I think I know what publishing is. They'll explain it to you and you're like, no, that's not publishing, right? What is master copyright ownership? What is a sync license? Why does a sync license sometimes not pay up front and just on the back end? And some sync licenses pay up front with big chunks of change, like 5-6 figures, right? What's the difference and why? Why is there a difference between this song not getting any upfront sync fee and this song getting $150,000 upfront as a sync fee? You have to study this game. You have to understand usage and rights and terms and where these things are playing and how they're making money for other companies and why your music is valued over here a lot more than it's valued over here selling beats or beat leases or free beats on YouTube, right? There's a lot to this game. So I would definitely say study the music industry, study genres, study the history of music and the music industry. Really dive into that. Now, this third thing is the hardest thing for most people in music. And this is why I think most people fail at building an actual career in music. And when I say career in music, I'm talking you are doing 10, 20, 30 years of a music career. You're in the business, you're making money from it. Whether you ever talk to a major label or not, that doesn't matter. You're making a good living doing music in some capacity for decades. That's a career. Longevity, right? Developing entrepreneurial skills, understanding that music is a business. There is the business side of music. There is the art side of music. There is this connection and this gap and blend, this bridge that happens when you start to build a career out of music. You have to be artistic. You have to dial in on your skill set and understand the music industry and the genres and the culture around it, all that stuff. But you have to also treat it as a business and gap that. You have to bridge that gap. So essential skills like networking, understanding books, like bookkeeping, QuickBooks, getting an accountant to take care of your books every month. Even if you're making $1,000 a month in music right now, make sure everything is charted and accounted for, right? Like, so you can see where you're doing the best, right? Oh, I'm making $800 a month off of mixing for clients, right? And out of the $1,000, maybe I should triple down on that and cut off the other $200 thing that I'm doing that's taking all this time up. Or maybe it's you're selling beats and you're making $900 a month off selling beats and $100 a month off mixing. Stop mixing. Just start making more beats, right? Dial in on what's working and look at the data. It's really important. And that's what entrepreneurial skills are all about. It's about business. It's about tracking numbers. It's about financial management. It's about marketing. Do you even know how to market? Do you know what kind of marketing tactic people are using right now that are effective in music in 2024? Are you on social media? Are you treating social media like it's a TV commercial and you're posting every day and you're staying engaged with your following? Are you building a mailing list? Are you doing the things that a business does to create revenue and to create an audience and a client base? Or are you doing none of that and you're sitting at your studio, your project studio or bedroom, whatever, and you're making beats all day and you're making tracks all day? What is it that you're doing and what are you trying to get to? Because if you're trying to build a music career, you need to have entrepreneurial skills and you need to develop those things. And that has a lot to do with marketing and know-how with the financial stuff, but networking and getting in the better rooms, right? Getting around better writers, finding management or even just partners, people that you could produce with. Like maybe your weakest point is you're making all these beats or you're making all these tracks or you're writing all these songs, but they're not getting finished because you don't have a mixing engineer and a mastering engineer and you're doing all of that. Well, try and find partners. That's part of being in business is you go out and you connect with people and you hit people on social media and you talk to people and you go to events, right? You have to network. You have to build these entrepreneurial skills. A big part of music and music business is being an actual business and the business side. As much as some of y'all like throw up in your mouth when you hear that, maybe it's not for you. Maybe the business of music is not for you if that really sickens you to your stomach. Or maybe you need to find a partner that only takes on all that stuff, that side of it, where you can be just creative and you have someone else taking on the business side. But you're going to have to give up at least 50% of your company to do something like that. So just make sure you're really dialed into what an entrepreneur does, okay? And you're willing to take loans, business loans. You're willing to charge credit cards if you need to because you believe in yourself and you're trying to push your business to a new height. You're not going to do that by sitting in a room just making music. It's very, very, very difficult. And I did that. I did that for years, right? I got a whole lot of nothing from that. I built beat stores. I got to the point where I was making some money every month off selling beats. It's a tough thing to do and it takes time. And that brings me to the last thing that I want to talk about is staying motivated, right? And adapting to change because this is not easy. This is the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life is build a music business. No doubt about it. The hardest thing I've ever done is build a business in music. I could have built a business in so many other things. I could be an employee and do really well. I'd probably be a great employee, right? I can't work for somebody else. I could work on projects for other people, publishers, record execs, whatever. Like I can work on those projects and work with those people, but I can't work for someone. I have to be able to say, you're fired. You know what I mean? Or I don't want to go that route. I don't want to do that with my brand and my music and what I'm doing. So that's just me. And I like that kind of control and that freedom over my life. And if you really like that freedom and that control over your life, the way to stay motivated and adapt to these changes is setting goals. You have to understand what you're doing it for, celebrating the achievements. That was a really hard thing for me to do when I first started getting awards and, platinum records and, Grammy nominated work that I was working on, Oscar nominated work, Golden Globe nominated work. That shit was like crazy to me and I didn't think about it. I was just like, oh, that's sick, that's dope. It's a cool talking point. But you got to celebrate that stuff because along the way, you're going to hit those markers and you need to be able to look back and go, man, I remember when that's all I wanted. I just wanted to make $100,000 a year in music. And then you're going to pass that marker and you may not be satisfied with that. You may get to a point where you're just going, I need more. I'm not happy. So figure out what's going to make you happy. That's going to keep you motivated. Those goals, that next thing, right? So if you're like, oh, I just want to make 50 grand a year in music. Oh my gosh, I would be set. When you hit that 50 grand, what's the next marker? Because if you hit that 50 grand and then you're like, yeah, I made it, then you might just take your foot off the gas and then your business declines and dies over the next 3 years, So it's very, very important that you kind of keep these goals in mind and stay motivated to get to that next thing. But you also celebrate the fact that you're hitting those things and always look back. Don't look up the stairs at the next thing. Look back at what you've accomplished in your music. Maybe you're just making $500 a month right now in music. You got to look back and go, man, I remember when I just wanted to make $100 off music. When even if someone paid me $1, that would be amazing, right? Stop always chasing the next thing and feeling unfulfilled with it. The fulfillment comes from the growth. So you got to stay motivated and encouraged to keep going because it's going to be really hard. You're going to have ups and downs. It's a roller coaster. You're going to have months where you just don't make any money at all. And then you're going to have a day where you get a paycheck for $25,000 and it's supposed to last you, 9 months. It's tough. So definitely be ready for that. And just really study innovation innovation, study what's going on. As much as I hate AI, I just don't fucking like AI. I'll be real with you. As much as I hate it, I still got to pay attention to what's happening in it and in that space and see, kind of predict a little bit of where it's going and what I can personally do to kind of pivot and make use of it, but also make sure I'm not obsolete because of it. And that's just staying up with innovation and technology. If any of you guys have watched my channel before, you know I'm always on plugins, the brand new plugins. I do the Radium Pow plugin of the week. I talk about new technology all the time because that's something that I want to be at the forefront of. I don't want to be the washed up guy, you know, going, yeah, I remember we should do everything to tape, man. It's, you know, analog's better than digital. Screw you. You know, I want to be the guy that like is on top of stuff and I'm making cool shit and I'm staying with those trends. So in conclusion, y'all, I want to make sure you guys really get a lot out of this video. Just understand we need to master the craft of music. Like, it's the number one thing. If you're not very good at music right now, it's gonna be really hard for you to make $1 off of it. You know, you're not very good at mixing and you want to go mix records and get paid for it. Good fucking luck. You know what I mean? You want to write songs for a living and get people to pay you, publishers, and get checks and sync license and scene deals, but you're not very good at writing songs and you have no proof of it. Then you need to get around people that write great songs and learn and grow and build that skill up before you start offering it as a service or a product that you're trying to build into a career in music. You need to just put out your own music. Maybe you need to work with artists and get songs out there and start to build your craft up and get better at it, right? Understand the industry. Make sure you're studying the industry every day. Just spend a little time, 15 minutes a day. Where's the industry at? What's going on? Who's hitting? Who's not? What's Taylor Swift doing? Why is she re-recording her masters? Why is this stuff happening? Who's doing this stuff and why are they doing it? You know? And then what are the independent artists? What's TikTok going? What's it doing? How's that working with UMG and all that stuff? Why did UMG and TikTok, you know, kind of go part ways? Why is UMG now working with Spotify? What's going on there? How's that going to build? Is that going to build into a social platform like TikTok? Are they going to try to compete? Is Spotify going to become the new TikTok? Right? There's all these questions and you have to kind of stay on that because this is your career. This is your vibe. This is what you want to do for a living. And it's going to take that, right? It's going to take that kind of dedication. So you guys make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want more game on music business, mixing, mastering, production, songwriting. I'm going to give you guys as much as I got. And if you have any questions at all, just drop them in the comments. I'll answer them on a video or right there in the chat. All right. And stay tuned. I got a lot more videos coming for you guys. I got a podcast that I've been shooting with my friend Kevin, who I used to do the Radium podcast with. We did like over 100 episodes together. Had a bunch of guests on there. Too Short. We had like music people like from all over. Adam 22. You know, like it was really fun. But now we're making a whole new one. It's called the Music Matters podcast. So I'm really excited to drop a lot of game on you guys with that as well. We're doing podcasts for artists, for producers, for songwriters, talking about music business, talking about the creative side of music, where we've been, what we've been doing, and how we got those things going, all that. So appreciate you guys tuning in and share the show if you got anything out of it. All right, peace.